with the combined years of experience of everyone who's up here with me, I can tell you we have seen a lot of political attacks on women's rights. And each time those attacks come, each time those on the other side attempt to exploit women's rights for their own political gain, we hear the same excuses. Every time we hear it's not really an attack on women's health care, it's always about something else. We're told that attacks on abortion rights aren't an infringement on a woman's right to choose. It's really about states' rights or religion. We're told that accessing emergency contraception isn't about our ability to make our own family planning decisions. It's really about protecting pharmacists or scientific processes. Just last week, we were told that Coleman's decision to limit life-saving mammograms for women wasn't about their opposition to Planned Parenthood. It was about some kind of congressional investigation. Well, this issue's no different. In fact, just earlier today, you had a Republican senator make the claim that this debate we're here to talk about today, quote, isn't an issue about contraception. The Republicans then went on to explain that it was about everything else. They said it's about their opposition to a health care bill that, by the way, will provide millions of underserved men and women with the health care they need. They said it's about the Catholic Church. The fact the vast majority of Catholics utilize contraception services was left out. They said that it's about freedom, except apparently not the freedom to make your own health care choice. Well, we have news for Republicans. This is about contraception. And if they think it isn't, we'd love them to hear the women whose access to contraception is on the line with the battle that they're taking on. Tell it to Sherry. She's an X-ray technician in California who works at a Catholic hospital. Shelley's job is no different than an X-ray technician at the hospital across town, but she could lose coverage just because of who her employer is and where she works. Tell it to Michelle. She's a labor and delivery nurse at Dominican Hospital in Santa Cruz, who said about her contraceptive services, and I quote, "It's something we've come to expect for ourselves and for our family." Tell it to everyone who's employed by schools and universities and institutions who want to make their own health care decisions. I'm guessing those who are making political hay out of this issue won't tell them. I'm guessing they'll continue to make this argument about everything but women's reproductive health, because attacks on women's rights never come without being disguised as something else. But I'll tell you what, all of us up here on this stage are not fooled, and the American people should not be either. This is a fight to protect the rights of millions of Americans who do use contraceptives, who believe that family planning is the right choice for them, and who don't deserve to have an extreme minority's ideology prevent them from getting the coverage they deserve. We're here because we fought hard to make sure that preventive health care services for women were a right for every woman in this country, no matter who their employer was. We're going to work hard to make sure we preserve that today. First of all, there are 335,000 churches today who are exempt from this because they are churches. What we're talking about is schools, universities, hospitals that employ many, many women of all different kinds of faith. And they have to rely on their employer to decide whether or not they are going to have access to contraceptive is something that we are saying can't happen, that they have the right to have access to that. As Senator Boxer just said, the president, in his policy that he put forward, gave those institutions a year to figure out how to do that. And that is what they are in the process of doing today. Well, what I can tell you is that women and men in general largely support the ability for women to have access to contraceptives. And I don't think they are going to like having someone represent them that want to take away that right. So that doesn't concern me. I am concerned that the Republicans are using women's right to choose as a little birdie on the wall to look at over here so that the American public doesn't see that they are blocking us from passing legislation to get this economy back on track.